Hello friends, welcome to LabTechs. My name is Nasir. Along with me, Dildar sir is here. Today we have a very unique case study of Dell Cedar motherboard, which is the part number is Dell 3542, and it seems that someone has revised the modesty of this motherboard, and controller IO was removed, BIOS was missing, 19 volt area was missing. We have done a lots of effort, and then we are bringing forth this case study in front of you so that you will be experience of it. But at last I will not show you the solution. You have to comment if you receive this types of motherboard, what step you will take. So you must have to comment on the comment box in our channel. Now let's come and see what is the actual scenario of this motherboard. As you can see that it is Cedar board, and which comes with the Broadwell processor, 4th generation and 5th generation as well. 13269-1, this is the part number, and if you search this name by Cedar or 13269, you will get to know that it is the Dell 3542 model, and this is embedded graphic chip along with this board. However, this model comes with the non-graphic as well. So when we received this motherboard, 19 area was, you can see that the capacitor was missing, the resistor value has been shifted, like instead of voltage divider resistor there was a 0 ohm resistor, and 19 volt was not transferring into the motherboard through this sensing resistor. So this was the scenario earlier. Now we have done 19 volt and it is working perfectly fine. Now you can see in the multimeter, I will demonstrate you what is the actual condition of 19 volt. However, earlier it was no voltage on the sensing resistor. Now we are getting, now you can see 20 volt we are getting on this sensing resistor, and as far as the 3.3 and 5 volt is concerned, we are getting 3.3 and 5 volt. As you can see, the amperage 0.035 amperage is total load. However, we are not using the RTC cell, so our motherboard should initialize by itself through the RTC section, because the power button will not work here. AC percent will trigger over the your power button, and it will turn on the PCH. So if I use the RTC cell, then we need to press the power button in order to turn it on. So that was the different scenario, that was the depth knowledge of the PCH. If you want to know what is the communication between PCH and SIO, then you can join our class, or you can access our video by contacting on this number. So this is the total load you can see here, and it seems that my board is turning on. And how can we get it confirmed? Through this RAM section. So RAM voltage is available on the coil. Now you can see 1.38 volt, it is quite fine. And let's move forward. Do we get the PCH voltage? Now we are getting the PCH voltage as well, and GPU voltage we are not getting. Okay, now you can see that GPU voltage we are not getting, and let's see that core. The core is missing here. The most important thing here is VS voltage. S0 state supply I need to check in this motherboard. So this is the load switch given on this model. So now you can see that input side S5 we are getting something. So 5 volt S5 voltage we are getting here, okay, on the pin number 1, and on the pin number 8 we are getting 3.3 volt S5. Other side of the this load switch we are getting also 3.3 volt output S0 state. 5 volt, let me check the 14 number pin is the, now you can see that we are getting nearly 1.8 volt. So it seems very easy case that by removing this load switch we can rectify these types of motherboard. So let's do the work. Let's remove it. One more thing, let me check the RAM supply. So now we need to check the RAM supply. So let's move to the schematic and let's find out that how we will check this voltage that we are getting or not, because VDDQ is available only. So the voltage we get on the coil, this is VDDQ voltage. So we are getting this one. So obviously we will be getting the S5 supply, then this is the VDDQ enable supply which is coming from the PCH. You can say it is the S4 SLP S4 signal. So let's come and check. As of now I am demonstrating you with the multimeter only. However, in order to make it sure that you have glitch on the signal or not, you can use the DSO as well. So it is pin number on 16. So 5 pin is here, 5, 10, 15 and 16. So now it is on the pin number 16. So let's come, it is the 5, 10, 15 and 16 number pin. Now you can see that we are getting 3.3 volt SLP S4 and it seems it is very good. Now the same thing, let me check it with the DSO, because I have seen so many cases where there are the problem in the signals. Sometimes it varies and sometimes there could be glitch. So 2 volt per division I have set it. Now 16 number pin. Now you can see that on my DSO no ripple, there is no glitch and straight line. So since it is the control signal, so you have to make it sure that there should not be any variation or less voltage to the 3.3 volt. So because it is the controlling signal, if it could be a voltage, then you can apply some a little bit more or little bit less voltage, then it could not affect to your RAM IC or memory IC. So this is the reason, then you need to check it with the DSO. Now we are getting it proper and let's move forward. After generating the VDDQ voltage, we need to check the VTT supply. So in RAM IC usually the signal name is given as it is given the S3 supply. So it is dedicated to enable the VTT enable. So the DDR VTT power good control signal, this is coming from the processor. Then processor has got the VDDQ supply, then it will release the VTT enable supply which will come on the pin number 17. So now let's come and check the pin number 17. So this is the pin number 17. Let me see it with the magnifying glass. Pin number 17. So this is the pin number 17. Now you can see that what voltage we are getting on this point. Unbelievable that SLP S3 and SLP S4 all types of controlling signal must contain 3.3 volt, but here it is the 4.20 volt. So this is the scenario which I was talking about. This is the very unique type of case study, and if you receive these types of motherboard, how you repair? If I tell you that by removing this one or by removing this one you can make your laptop okay, but that is the just a hit and try, because there is no logic. You have to tell me that why we are getting the high voltage instead of 3.3 volt. One more thing, the load switch, as we were talking about the load switch. So this is the 5 volt input S5, this is the 3.3 volt S5 input section, this is the output S0 state we are getting. Now you can see on the DSO, on the output S0 we are getting perfect fine, and 5 volt instead of 5 volt S0 we are getting merely 1.8 volt. Now you can tell me or you can comment on the comment box that there are the two problems here. Then in the RAM IC we are getting 4 volt from the PCH, 4 point something voltage from the PCH. That is the wrong thing. There must be 3.3 volt. And the second one, I let me tell you that here instead of 5 volt we are getting 1.8 volt. Now this is the SLP S3 signal. Now let's check it. Now you can see the situation here that 840 millivoltage is only here. SLP S3 and control signal and SLP S4 all should be 3.3 volt. Now let me show you one magic in this board. So now actually what should be on the RAM IC, in order to get the VDDQ voltage you are required, at least the minimum requirement is SLP S4, which we are getting appropriate. In order to get the VDD supply we need to get at least SLP S3 supply, which must be 3.3 volt threshold. If we are not getting the threshold voltage, then we can not consider that is the okay. However, further name could be the differ, like if we are getting the SLPS3 voltage supply, and then it will go to the controller IO, and controller IO will release the sus on, main on, control signal from the PCH. So further signal name could be vary. So you have to remember the minimum requirement of the RAM IC is SLPS3 in order to generate VDD supply. So let's make it sure that's what is the condition of SLPS3. So here is the point. Now you can see here is the point that we are getting or not. Let me turn it on once again. It is off now. So you can see on my multimeter it is 895 millivoltage only. It is below 1 volt even. So I think with the help of this enable supply we are getting 3.3 S0 only, not 5 volt. So now you can see that instead of 5 volt S0 we are getting 1.8 volt. Now let me show a magic how this thing is processing as I have described you here. Now let me describe it in the schematic. So let's come and find out that what we are talking about. U3601, and maybe that this types of case you can also confront. So this is the scenario that earlier what used to be on the motherboard. So in first generation, second generation motherboard we used to see that there could be a lots of switching MOSFET, and the minimum requirement was SLP S3 was there. If it is situated over here, then we can expect that we can get the some voltage, the transmission of the voltage we can get with some current control device. So this is a current control device. The same 5 volt will transfer from this is the supply, power supply. Now it has converted into a IC. So S5 voltage, 5 voltage will transfer from one number to 13, 14. It is connected together. So now we will get the S0 state. So what is the state and how you come to know that how our power rail run in our motherboard. If you want to know all about the motherboard with the depth knowledge of the communication between the PCH and SIO and charging IC, internal logic, 3.3 volt and RAM IC internal logic, how BIOS communicate, how you can check BIOS with the help of DSO. If you want to know the entire thing, then you can contact on the given number for the video classes. So we have made the video for your convenience in order to save your time. So you need not to attend the class late at night because we mismatch the time from India to your country. So that is why I would like to recommend you to have our video, so you can avail that video. So this is the situation here that SLP S3 will come over here, and this will enable separately this one as well as the SLP S3 will at the same time will transmit the 3.3 S5 to 3.3 S0. Sometimes the same load switch works with the different types of enable signal. Like you can see here, this enable 1 is given here, enable 2 is given here. Sometimes one IO will enable this signal and the PCH will enable this signal. So we have the demonstration of that types of board also. So this is the scenario over here. We need this transmission voltage, then we can expect our PCH will work properly. So now we are getting the 3.3 absolutely fine, but 5 volt, instead of 5 volt we are getting 1.8 volt. So this is the problem. So let me show you how we diagnose these types of problem. But actually a clue I will give you only. Now you have to answer on our YouTube channel. Then if you receive these types of problem, how you can make it sure. So I have removed the load switch only. What I will do, I will just power it up. Okay, so now it was getting on and off, on, completely on. How is that possible? Because there is a no load switch and PCH is still not getting voltage, proper voltage. Earlier even it was getting 3.3 volt, but now it is not getting any voltage here. Now you can see on the multimeter. Let me show you. Now first I will check the enable signal. We are getting 300 something millivolt, and it is increasing gradually. It is increasing, and now on the output we are not getting. We are getting very surprisingly we are getting 2 point something voltage. So why it is very surprising? Because we are not having the load switch in the motherboard. Now you can see, but despite we are getting voltage on this point, 2.26 voltage we are getting on this point. So let's see what is the condition of 5 volt. So 5 volt we are not getting, only 100 something millivoltage we are getting. SLP S3 is proper now, but can we say that SLP S3 is proper on this point? Because we are checking the 3 number pin as I have shown you in the schematic. Now let's see once again. SLP S3 I am checking here. I am checking on this point, on this register. This is the point you can see. The same point I am checking as I have shown you in the schematic. The same point I am checking. R3609. R3609 is here. On this point I am checking. Enable, both terminal enable is the same SLP S3. Now let's check the same thing with the DSO. You will come to know what is the importance of DSO. Let's see. So I am holding my probe on the SLP S3 terminal on the register. So let me connect my reference ground of the CRO, and let me hold my probe on the register where the SLP S3 will come. Now let me power it up. See, how my voltage is changing. There is some ripple. So again let me demonstrate you that how is it behaving. It is behaving like a PWM pulse, and then it is forcibly turning into the DC line, and it seems that we are checking the 3.3 and 5 volt buck regulator PWM section. However, it must be a straight line ranging from the beginning. It means as soon as I power it up, then we need to get only a DC line, but we are getting the PWM pulse. So in this way our all the suspicion. More interesting thing, let me tell you that instead of 3.3 volt, so one more interesting thing I would like to tell you here, that instead of 3.3 volt we are merely getting 3 volt. So there are the two situations. One, PWM, that is the quite abnormal, and the second one is the instead of 3.3 volt it is merely 2.96 to 3 volt. So it seems that my PCH has gone, but we have the trick to save your SoC chipset. The PCH will be saved in this motherboard, it is my guarantee. So how you will take a step if you receive these types of motherboard? The situation and the scenario I have demonstrated you. What further signal need to be checked in this motherboard? You have to comment in the comment box, so that you could increase your knowledge we will discuss, you will get answer over there. If you get the right answer, we will appreciate you, we will consider your clock. Otherwise you will come to know, you will learn a lot. So that is a good way to learning also. So this is overall. So now let me mark for you that what I have done. I have signed my, here is the my sign. You can say that even I can make the same sign after removing or after replacing this, but PCH is the very suspicious place where the SLP S3 or SLP S4 signal come out. And now you can see, let me show you, the glue is here, so I need not to sign up here. So now you can see that this is the company glue, which is not possible to refix again. So this is the PCH, and usually this motherboard, actually now you can see that there are so many places has been worked earlier, because from where I have received this motherboard, he has told me that from 3 or 4 places it has returned. So the BIOS was missing here, I have replaced it. IO was not very clear, so I fixed it. Now you can see the track is made, already it was made. So there were so many work, but I haven't found any else area which seems to be faulty. The thing I have described you here, or which I have demonstrated you, the only thing is I have found there is a problem. One is on the control section of the RAM IC, where instead of 3 volt we are getting 4.2 volt something, and instead of SLP S3 we with the LDO with the load switch we are getting 800 millivolt on this point, and after removing it, it is behaving like a PWM switch. And even if this load switch is not present in the motherboard, we are getting the 3.3 volt but not 5 volt. So this was the scenario. So how can you make sure that your PCH is faulty or not? So let me show you after repairing this, and then I will answer it to you. In this types of case study, if you want to know, or if you want to be expert in laptop repairing, then you can join our class. Also you can join any types of class, or there are so many people who is conducting the laptop repairing courses, but you need to know the basic knowledge of the electronics, like how PWM works and what is the difference between the PWM IC and non-PWM IC, and how controller IO communicate with the PCH communication. That is also a big task. How you can make sure that your BIOS is ready to use, or it is ready to post, and how clock is working, what is the actual use of DSO. So many things you will come to know in our video courses. So you must comment that if you receive these types of case, what step you will take. I will show you that how we save the SOC structure or PCH. Now see you. It takes only 5 minutes to repair this motherboard, and now because we daily confront these types of undone case, and those who has worked a lot in the motherboard. So because if we check the motherboard with the pinpoint, then I think you need not to move here and there. So you will be focused on the, now we have fixed this motherboard, and it was a trick, it was nothing more than a trick. And if you want to learn these types of trick in this motherboard, like 4 bip sound and 6 bip sound and 7 bip sound, so they are the usually tricks applied in this motherboard. So this is also one trick. If you want to know that what trick you have to play if you receive these types of motherboard, you can contact on the given number. So here is the situation done. I am checking here 3 SLP S3. Now you can see that without any ripple, without any PWM cycle, we are getting 3.3 volt on this point. So however, still I am not using the load switch. Now situation you can see it is on, but my VA supply is not generated. So let's fix it back. The same load switch I will fix it again. Now let's come and put it back. It is my guarantee that if you in this types of motherboard, if you want to repair it by changing the SIO chip or by changing the PCH, so the situation will be remain same. Okay, so you even I haven't done the same work, and now you can see that the glue is the same. I haven't replaced the PCH. Even I here the estimate is not given by the customer to save to replace the PCH. So now let me see that it is okay or not. Now as you can see that in this motherboard it takes only 5 minutes. I haven't changed controller IO. Earlier I have fixed it when I received it because it was undone, as I have confessed you, but PCH is not changed. IO will not be changed in this situation. So what is the trick? You can comment in the comment box. So now let's come and see. So let me power it up. So there are the messages comes in this Cedar model. 3 usual problem will come in this motherboard. One, the 3.3 and 5 volt will get heat too much. Whatever you do, you just change the 3.3 and 5 volt regulator, you will feel that your 3.3 and 5 volt buck regulator will heat up. Now you can see it is turning on very fantastically. So let's check it on the with the RAM, that's do we get the display or not. Since it is the graphic, I haven't converted it non-graphic, so I will see the display on my DSO because I am not having the screen panel, only motherboard. From the other state I have received it. Now you can see the board has turned on, and a normal BIOS I have reprogrammed. I need to make it clear if the LED display I get. So let's make it sure that do I get display LED or not. As you can see that it seems that the RAM is not taking because it is the customer RAM. Now I am using my own Apple RAM. So let me turn it on once again. Now it is taking the RAM load. So successfully connected to your computer. The display has come now. You can see that the RAM could be also faulty if you are not getting the DRAM reset. So this types, that is a different thing. Let's talk about the various problem in this motherboard. What types of trick you will get to know if you join our class. Do whatever you want, your 3.3 and 5 volt will remain heat. The second one, you will not be getting 3.3 and 5 volt. Even if you replace the controller IO or if you replace the 3.3 and 5 volt regulator. One more case study, you will come to know that instead of 3.3 volt on the on off switch, you will get the 4 volt or something more than 4 volt you will get. And one more case study, you will always confront in this motherboard that 7-time beep sound. That has also some manageable work you have to apply in the motherboard. Sometime after converting the non-graphic, you get the 6 beep sound you get. However, you will get the display. There are the 2 solutions for that thing. So there are the various types of tricks in this motherboard. So if you have curiosity to understand how you can tackle these types of problem if you face, then you can join our classes. So friend, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and as I have told you that there were so many types of problem in the same types of motherboard you have to confront daily. So you would be required of the case study, like 3.3 and 5 volt regulator will be getting heat. So even if you change the 3.3 and 5 volt regulator, or if you change the SIO chip, then still the condition will be remain same. So these types of, and the case study I have demonstrated you now. This types of case study if you confront, so you need to have your depth knowledge in the field of electronics. So I would like to recommend you that if you want to beef up your knowledge of electronics, laptop repairing, especially in the laptop repairing, then you can have our video classes, because there we have described ranging from the DC in section, RTC section, entire PCH communication with the SIO chip, as well as with the BIOS and processor and RAM section, and all individual regulator like 3.3 volt, 5 volt regulator, RAM regulator, core regulator, 1.5 volt, 1.05, 1.8, all the requirement with the latest generation motherboard. We have made the video for your convenience. So if you are interested, then this is our number. You can have the WhatsApp, you can send the WhatsApp message, or you can call us. So I hope guys you have enjoyed a lot. So please like as much as possible, and share this video in your local group, so that others also will be benefited for this video. And if you haven't subscribed our channel as of now, please subscribe it, because we update the latest types of problem, and we also introduce latest types of technology in the laptop repairing. We always bring forth for you. So also hit the bell icon button, so that you will get notification. And okay guys, see you in the next case study. Take care. Bye bye.